Anuvaka number 10 is what we are studying. In Anuvaka number 10, we are going to mantra number 2. Yate Rudra Shiva Tanuhu Shiva Vishwaha Bheshaji Shiva Rudrasya Bheshaji Tayano Mridajivase. Yate Tanuhu Shivaha He Rudra, O Rudra, your form that has become peaceful and auspicious because of our prayers. Because of you, Vishwa, Ahaha, Shiva. Ahaha means day. That is every single day. Ahaha. Vishwa, Ahaha means all days without any exception. All the days, Shiva. Let them become auspicious. And then let it become Bheshajihi. Bheshaji, Beshak means medicine. Beshak also means doctor, physician. Medicine, it becomes a panacea, and then all the physical and mental ailments are all purified because of your grace, and where and when, on all days and everywhere. Shiva Rudrasya Bheshaji. See, twice they have used the word Bheshaji. What is the purpose? Yate Rudra Shiva Tanuhu Shiva Vishwaha Bheshaji. Shiva Rudrasya Bheshaji. What is the purpose for repetition? In the first part, Vishwaha Bheshaji means physical and mental illnesses which are for our phenomenal existence. But after death, there should be no rebirth. So every rebirth is also the manifestation of a disease, and therefore we don't want to be reborn. So the complete moksha, not to be reborn into samsara and into the samsara dukkha. Rudra is the one who melts away. Based on the etymology of Rudra, Rudram samsara dukkham dravayati iti. That means the etymology of Rudra is one who melts away all the dukkha of becoming. So becoming is something that happens after death. So when we are all alive, every one of us should be free from physical and mental ailment, and upon death we should not return to the existence of becoming. So how does Rudra act in removing every single day all the ailments, even mental and physical ailments? All the physical diseases that come to us are also handled for a person who has got jnana. Because when a person has got jnana, he will not be depressed even when there is intense amount of physical disability. And then Rudra does this because he is Guru. So we have seen already in the Yoga Sutra, he is the Purvesham api Guruhu Kalena Anavachhedat. He is the Guru of every single Guru. He sits in the heart and the mind of every single Guru, and it is Lord Shiva who speaks. And therefore he is unfettered by the limitations of time and space. And hence he is able to ensure that past, present and future, and in all the realms, he is able to remove the mental, physical and the samsara illness. The only medicine for handling illness is to remove the darkness of ignorance. And that's why we also have the prayer, Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So why do we prostrate before the Guru? It is because I, who has become blinded by ignorance, and with that ignorance he removes it with the stick, the collyrium stick of jnana, and then makes my eye open. So with that prayer that I make of viewers, all the ills, there are two things. One is the maladies and physical diseases. Physical diseases is not ills per se. So the ill is where we have the triputi called the avidya, kama and karma. Avidya is all the ignorance that is caused, which sets in motion ragadvesha, Asmita and Abhinivesha, as we again saw in Yoga Sutra, that momentum starting from avidya, which inspires us to do, to get desires, which is kama, and which forces us to act, which is karma. These three granthis, avidya granthi, kama granthi, and karma granthi, known as the disease triputi. That triputi is the one, taya naha mrida. With your Shakti, you make us lead a very happy life by overcoming this, all the kinds of ills, and by removing the problem of samsara, basically by removing my ignorance. You will see that this is somewhat similar to the mantra 3 of the first Anuvaka, where we have said, Yate Rudra Shiva Tanur Aghora Papakashini Tayanastanuva Shantamaya Girishanta Vichakashihi. So in both the places there is a little similarity. So what is Shivatvam? Shivatvam is bringing two kinds of happiness. One is called Iha, another is called Para. Iha means here, as we are existing with our body and mind together, alive. Also known as Aihika. Aihika means this worldly. And then Para means beyond this existence. Another word for that is Amushvika. Amushvika means otherworldly. In other words, this worldly, otherworldly. Iha, Para. Aihika, Amushvika. In all these combinations, you are Vishwaha Bheshaji. You are the one who removes all the ills. So normally for us, some days are good and some days are not good, but for one who is a bhakta of Shiva, every day will be a good day only. Why? How is it? How suddenly by becoming a devotee, every day becomes good for you? It is because for a bhakta, he realizes that the source of all sorrows is Arishadvarga. Arishadvarga has 6 kind of enemies. Who are the 6 kind of enemies? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Of these 6, the highest momentum is actually given by Kama and Krodha. As the Bhagavan Jagadguru has already said in the Gita, Kama yesha, Krodha yesha, Rajoguna samudbhavaha. So, for a person who is a devotee, what kind of a devotee? A devotee who is full of jnana. How did he get jnana? By means of understanding who Shiva is. For a person who knows Shiva, for him there is no anger, there is no jealousy, there is no miserliness, there is no evil mind. Na krodho, na cha matsaryam, na lobho, na ashubhamatihi, bhavanti kritapunyanam, bhaktanam purushottame. Vishnu Sahasranama. So one who is devoted to Mahavishnu, there is no difference, as I have many times pointed out, whether it is Shiva or Vishnu. For one who is a devotee of Mahavishnu, there is nothing. And then the Adidevata of this mantra is interestingly Skanda, Subramanya. So when you meditate upon this mantra, you actually have Subramanya in your eyes, because Shiva is the one who dries up all the ills of life. The one who dries up is Vayu, because which is the element that dries up everything? It is Vayu, and Vayu is the Skanda. In the Devata mapping, Skanda is the Vayu. He has got Shanmukha, he has got 6 faces. What are these 6 faces? The 6 faces representing the absence of the Arishadvargas. So the Shanmukha 6 faces represents the absence of Kama Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada. Why? Because the face is Devata. Devata means one that is shining. Since when a person's kamakrodadi 6 ills are removed, he will have these 6 brilliant faces, and therefore he becomes skanda. The etymology of the word skanda, it comes from the root skand. Skand means to dry. Skandaha, while commenting on Vishnu Sahasranama, some of you may be familiar, Skandas, Skandada Rodhuryo, Varado, Vayuvahanaha, Adidevo, Mahadevo, Devesho, Deva Bhritguru. In that context, while commenting on the word Skanda, Skandadhara, Adi Shankara parses it as Skandam Dharmapatham Dharayati, it is Skandaha. So who is Skanda? Skanda is the one who makes sure that the path to Dharma is cleared of all obstacles. So if you take the path of Dharma, initially we think that it is a very difficult path to go. But once you have entered into the freeway, it is freeway. So it's only when you get on the ramp there is some problem, isn't it? Once you get onto the freeway, then unobstructedly miles and miles and miles you can go. All you have to do is just get onto 70 in Baltimore, that's it. You will end up in California or Utah or whatever. So again, the reason for choosing Subramanya as the Adidevata of this mantra is this Shanmukha holds a spear called Vel. So he is holding that spear. With that spear he will pierce through our ajnana. And he is riding the peacock. The peacock is symbolic of Ahankara. So as Skanda riding the peacock, which is the Ahankara, subduing Ahankara, he is the Adidevata who dries up all our ajnanas. So the next mantra takes us to an interesting change. Now in this mantra number 2, I have asked for you to remove all my ills, you make me happy, then take every single day should be good for me, then not only that, even after my life I should not return to this samsara, then remove my Adisatvargas, all those prayers are fine. So if I am healthy, strong, peaceful, but find everybody around me are suffering, can I be happy? It's impossible to happy. Therefore, what is the hallmark of a bhakta? Look at the transition from mantra number 2 to mantra number 3. As soon as he asks for his own happiness, immediately he turns around and says, oh, everybody should be happy around me. Then only I can be happy. So he always prays and he always wishes for others to be happy, sometimes even if he is himself suffering. In fact, on Thursday I am going to speak on Ramanujacharya. When speaking on Ramanujacharya, if you look at the life of Ramanujacharya, everything was bad for him. His own guru tries to kill him, murder him. The king was against him and he tries to kill him. He had to run away from his own birthplace. He had to walk miles and miles. And then he was threatened by so many problems. And of course he was all saved, that also is true. But then he had a very dysfunctional family. He had such a problem with his wife that he had to give her up. He had to it's not legal divorce, he just abandoned her. He said, you go back to your mother's place. It was impossible for him to live with his wife. So with all this, how is it he was able to become a Ramanujacharya? It is because even though in his personal life everything was tragic, everything was difficult, still he was always thinking of what can I do to make the world happy, what can I do to make the world good. That's why at the end of every puja we say, Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, Sarve santu niramayaha, Sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. This prayer, Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, is actually the purport of the third mantra of the 10th Anuvaka. Imam Rudraya Tavase Kapartine You can also read it as Tapase Kapartine. Tapase Kapartine Kshayadviraya Prabharamahe Matim Yathanash Shamasadvipade Chatushpade Vishwam Pushtangrame Asmin Anaturam Yatha Naha Dvipade Chatushpade Sham Asat. You please make our people who are around us Dvipade, those who have got 2 feet. Chatushpade, all our animals around us, all of them, Sham Asate, let them be always healthy and happy, healthy and well. Is it just around my block? That question arises. So to remove that fear, Asmin Grame. Let it happen in this whole town, in this whole village. Is it enough if only Columbus is good, if only Ohio is good, if only United States is good? Is that enough? What if we have hostile, poor, weak, terribly suffering nations all around us? That also is not acceptable for the true devotee. So he says, Vishwam Pushtam Anaturam. Everywhere in the universe. So he goes from himself to his own family and surroundings. He goes to his own town and city, and then he extrapolates it to the entire universe. Pushtam Anaturam. All of them remain nourished. Pushtam. Anaturam means let them be totally free from all afflictions. So how can you do that? How is Shiva capable of doing all this? Because you are Tavase. When you say Tavase, the meaning is strong one. When you use the word Tapase, that means because of the power of your tapas, the fire of your tapas. So either you can exchange when you are actually interpreting the mantra. And your Kapardine. Kapardin means you have got matted locks. So what did he do with his matted locks? The fury and the destructive power and the flow of Ganga he arrested in his matted locks. So what is the fury and the power and the current of samsara dukkha? It is as fast, as ferocious as the falling of Ganga from the heavens on the top of Shiva's head. That he can arrest it with his matted locks. So you have proved that you can arrest the flow of samsara, and therefore you make me come out of it. Not only that, you are Kshayadviraya, Viraya Kshayat. That means one who can destroy the most powerful enemies. And then to you, Matim Prabharamahe. Prabharamahe Matim. That means we turn our mind. We turn our mind in worship. So a couple of points here. When we are enjoying certain happiness and some pleasures of life, for example, when you cook food at home, one should not cook for oneself only, and then you should not make food just for yourself and eat and not share with others. Whatever little you have got to share with others, right? Then what happens? You are happy with whomsoever you share, they are also happy. There is a mantra which we will study when we take up this Amrita or Brahmana part. Kevalagho bhavati kevaladi. One who eats alone will become a sinner. One who eats alone becomes only a sinner. Kevala adi. Kevala agaha. One becomes a pure sinner if one is such a selfish person. Therefore, never pray just for yourself. Never pray only for yourself and your near and dear ones. Never pray only for those people who are good to you. You must pray to every living being, since all are Shiva and Shiva is all. So there are, as I mentioned, 4 reasons to understand that Shiva is the one who can confer all the sukha. Number 1, by remaining misery, signified by the word Rudraya. Tapase, by his power of intelligence, which is Jnana Shakti. Kapardine, which is matted locks, he arrests the flow of miseries. Kshayadviraya, by his Veera Shakti, by his valor, by his Kriya Shakti, he removes the miseries of everyone. So a person who starts with a prayer of Rudradhyaya, a person who chants the Rudradhyaya must end in praying for everyone. That is why there is a Shastra Vakya which says, in the Purana Vakya which says, Rudradhyayi vasedyatra grameva nagarepiva vyadhi durbhiksha choradi badha tatra na vidyate. In any town, in any city, there is a person who chants and worships using the Rudra mantras with this spirit. Very, very important, note that. Because if Rudra is chanted with arrogance, with all kinds of ahankara, that I know this mantra and so on and so forth, it is only going to bring a destruction. When you are chanting the Rudra, you must have the good of the entire universe in your mind. When you do that, if such a person lives in a town, grameva, nagarepiva, then vyadhi, all diseases, durbhiksha, that means famine, choradi, and then all kinds of thieves, their botheration will not be there. But since we all have all these things, that means we do not unfortunately have such Rudradhyayis, such people who study the Rudra in our town. So it is time at least that all of us become such chanters of Rudra with such dedication for the entire universe.